S.P.RAWAT, Department of Information Technology, Jalan College, Chakradharpur. Students, today we are going to study about CPU scheduling. Okay, so let us start. What is CPU scheduling? What are its types? And what are the criteria of CPU scheduling? So come on, let's start. So students, first of all, what is CPU scheduling? Students, CPU scheduling is the process which allow one process to use the CPU while the execution of another process is on hold due to inability of any resources like input output. The aim of the CPU scheduling is to make the system efficient, fast and fair. The selection process will be carried out by the CPU scheduler. It selects one of the processes in memory that are ready for execution. So why we need scheduling? Okay, a typical process involves both input output time and CPU time. In a single operating system, in a sorry, in a single operating system like MS-DOS, time spent waiting for input output is wasted, and the CPU is free during this time. In multi-programming system, one process can use CPU while another is waiting for input output, and this is possible only with process scheduling. Next type of CPU scheduling. So students, CPU scheduling are of two types. First, primitive, and second is non-primitive. In primitive in primitive scheduling, when two process switches from the running state to the ready state, then it is a primitive state. And another circumstance is that when a process switches from the waiting state to the ready state. And in non-primitive scheduling, when a process switches from the running state to the waiting states, that is input output request, and when a process completely terminates. Okay, so primitive scheduling take place when a process switches from running states to ready states or from waiting states to ready states, whereas in non-primitive scheduling take place when a process terminated or switches from running to waiting states. So these are the types of CPU scheduling. Next, criteria of CPU scheduling. So here we just go through what are the criteria which make the CPU scheduling better than other algorithm. Okay, so the main criteria of CPU scheduling are CPU utilizations, second is throughput, third is turnaround time, waiting time and response time. See, if CPU utilization is maximum or throughput is maximum, then it is good algorithm. Whereas if the turnaround time, waiting time or response time is minimum, then that algorithm is also good. Okay, so let us start. Let us discuss the criteria in details. First, CPU utilizations. The more CPU utilization, the the performance is more good. Maximum, if the CPU remain busy, then that algorithm is good, and if CPU remain idle, then this algorithm is washed. Second, throughput. It is the number of processes that finish their execution per unit of time is called throughput. Means number of job in per unit time. Next, waiting time. It is amount of time that specific process needs to wait in the ready queue. Okay, so waiting time. Next, response time. It is the amount of time in which the request was submitted until the first response is produced. And last, turnaround time. It is the combination of waiting time plus execution time. Means it is the time period between the time of process submission to the completion time. So students, this is all about CPU scheduling, and in our next class we discuss about the CPU scheduling algorithm. If you have any doubts, then you can mail me, or you can comment me in my comment section, or you can call me in my number. Thank you.